Graham Kennedy of Birthday Boys, and I'm at Popularity.
When do you feel you're in your most creative state, and has that changed over time?
I think I'm at my most creative state when it's quiet. Either at home, I have to lock myself in a room somewhere, or I find in the tour van is actually a good spot when everyone shuts up for a couple minutes. And how has that changed over time? I don't know. I think I've always been most productive when I'm by myself in silence. Yeah.
What would you say are the biggest challenges in the creative process?
For us, I think like all four of us are pretty involved. I think more so than a lot of bands in the way that a drummer, will make chord suggestions. So for us, I think the hardest part is probably we all have an idea of what we want in our heads when we write a new song, and then having three other guys that are creative enough to come up with their own ideas. Sometimes you feel like yours are getting pushed out of the way, but it all works out for the best.
What has been your proudest achievement so far?
I mean, every record we've put out, we're proud of. I was pretty proud of the 30 songs in 30 days video thing that we did last October when we were on tour. That was one of those sort of ambitious challenges we gave ourselves, and we actually kind of pulled it off. So I think we're all pretty proud of that.
At the point that you're at right now, what do you find most challenging in music?
Like aside from trying to find food when you're on the road, the most challenging thing right now would be, I think, coming up with ideas that will work in a venue that's larger than the venues that we play. Sometimes you write songs with subtleties in them that don't come across when you're playing in like a shitty dive at 2 in the morning when everyone's really drunk. So I think the hardest part is kind of finding a balance between what you want to do and what you're able to do with what you have.
What's your main goal to reach as a band?
Sustainability, I would say. We all just want to do this for a long time. So whatever level we can get to that makes it sustainable for us, that's what we're looking for. Anything above that is gravy.
Can you describe your attraction to music?
Can I describe the type of music?
Your attraction to music.
Oh, attraction to music. Well, I think it's kind of an innate thing for me. Like I grew up in a musical family, so I don't really know when I started becoming attracted to it. But I know that now it attracts me because it's really the most universal, I think, the most universal art form where you can say something boldly, flat out, point blank, and put it in a 3-minute pop song, and people will walk around the street singing. Like you paint a painting, but it's that thing about music that leaves you walking around with it. So I think that's what attracts me. I'm an artistic person, so I paint and I write and I write poetry, but I keep coming back to music because it seems like the most sort of the most accessible medium.
What first comes to mind when you hear these song titles? Daughter's Man.
Notes. I hear the first 3 notes, but that's because I know the song. My wife.
What about Haunt Me?
I think of I wrote that about a kid that I knew that's gone. So I think of him.
What do you hope listeners will gain from listening to your music and seeing you live?
Well, I think they will experience some good old-fashioned rock and roll that you don't, it's kind of hard to come by these days. I mean, there's a lot of rock bands out there, but, you know, it's hard to get exposure, so I think a lot of people are missing sort of a genuine trashy rock and roll that we used to love. So I think you'll gain that.
At this point, what do you value most about this whole experience?
At this point, I value the opportunity to still be writing and traveling and hanging out with you know, the guys that I love hanging out with and respect at the age of 26. Most people don't have that opportunity to still be doing what I'm doing. So I value that very much.
What do you feel are the most significant musical moments in your life that have influenced your journey as an artist to where you are today?
Let's see. There was I was in a band that recorded just recording in Montreal, and we were young, and the producer kept saying like, oh, you guys sound like this band, or you sound like this band, and we didn't know any of the bands. So one day I went out and bought Clash, London Calling, Iggy Pop, Raw Power, and Television Marquee Moon, because these were the records that he kept saying, oh, you got to check these records out. And I would say that shopping spree was one of the most influential moments in my musical life. Those 3 records have changed me.
Do you find that when you perform songs that they evolve or change with each time you play them? Do songs grow?
Yeah, I think some of them do. I think you have to let them. Some of them, I think you just kind of are happy enough to just kind of bang through them the way they are. But certainly, the songs have grown on this tour. We're playing them differently now than we were when we left. So.
What's next?
What's next? Well, we head home to Ontario after the show tonight, and we will start writing and recording, and hopefully have a record out and be back out west in the fall.
Do you have anything that you'd like to say to the Readers of Popularity?
Support independent music. Go out to shows. That's really where people make their money.